Hey guys, today we are here to talk about ESO. Now, specifically Dark Brotherhood. I don't like to talk about things until after I've completely finished them, and while I haven't maxed it out to 12 of 12, I've done all the content, all the quests. I've even done all the different contracts that are available, to a point. So, with everything being done, it is now time for us to discuss. Now, I plan to use Thieves Guild as like a basis to compare to. So if you have played Thieves Guild, you'll understand all of what I'm trying to say here. First off, let me address what you're seeing in the background. Right now, you're seeing the Blade of Woe and all the different kills that you can do. I've done every single kill in every single way, whether they're laying down, standing up, everything. So, Blade of Woe, what is it? It's an insta-kill that you can use on any humanoid mob, which includes some Dremora. Now, if you go back to the base patch of the game, and you're like in a lobby area, sometimes you'll find out that like a Diviner Archer can be killed with the Blade of Woe, but a Diviner, Paladin can't. Even though they're both humans, sometimes you run into the fact of you can't Blade of Woe them. I don't think it's intended. I think they just forgot to tick a check mark to make sure that that guy could be Blade of Woed. So, it kind of sucks when that does happen, but I've only had it happen in 2 or 3 of the lower level delves, so it's not that prevalent of an issue. Now, before we get to actual bugs and stuff like that, let's talk about the actual quest line, the points that you put in, and other stuff. So first, the quests that you actually do. The storyline, if you're into Dark Brotherhood from Skyrim and all the ones before it, Oblivion, Morrowind, I don't think I'm forgetting one, but if you're into the Dark Brotherhood and the other ones, you will love the Dark Brotherhood here for the storyline. Now, I don't want to give any spoilers, so that's all I'm going to say about the storyline, alright? So don't worry about covering your ears, everything's fine here. However, I will talk about the equivalent of the Thieves Guild heist. I don't know that they are comparable, because, okay, here's for starters. When you do the equivalent quest for Dark Brotherhood, you are not timed until after you kill your mark, as opposed to Thieves Guild, you're timed the entire time. Also, for Thieves Guild, you can't kill people, and they'll put people like right on top of the chest, so you have to kill them to be able to open the chest. Therefore, you lose like 2 minutes of the timer, and it's really annoying. The Thieves Guild one, I'm not a huge fan, and it's not just me. I've talked to the guild that I'm in, and everyone else seems to have a hard time with it. It seems to just be very, very poorly made. The Dark Brotherhood one, I've only failed it once, and it was my own stupid fault. So, it's definitely possible, and that's without potions, without anything. The Dark Brotherhood one is easily finishable by a Stamina Nightblade, as long as you know what you're doing. So, it's not that bad, but compared to Thieves Guild one, it's completely amazing. I love it. Alright, so let's talk about the points. In Thieves Guild, there was something cool where it would drop your bounty faster. And the clemency thing, I've only ever tried to use it once from Thieves Guild, and it failed. The guard came right back at me instantly as soon as I closed the window saying I have powerful friends. So, I wasn't a huge fan of the clemency. The only thing that I ever really cared about from the Thieves Guild was that reduction. And of course, selling items for more. So, that was pretty much it from there. Usable points, in my opinion. Now, let's bump over to Dark Brotherhood. I Blade of Woe everything that I can. First off, the animation looks cool, as you guys have been seeing in the back. But not only does it look cool, it has 2 bonus effects if you use the set items that you get from doing the quests. So, if you're wearing the set items, you get Major Berserk for 20 seconds, or 30. Crap, now I'm drawing a blank. This is important. Sorry guys, I'm pretty sure it's 20 seconds. So after you Blade of Woe someone, you go Berserk, dealing more damage. Fantastic. But also, if you go into the tree, you move faster for X amount of time, depending on how many points you put in, after you Blade of Woe someone. So you can Blade of Woe, move quickly, Blade of Woe, move quickly, Blade of Woe, and just basically speed run. Now, here's some important stuff about when you Blade of Woe something. A, you get loot. So if they're like a townsfolk or something, you get the same stuff you'd get if you killed them while pickpocketing and failed and they attacked you like beforehand. So you get the same kind of treasures as you would for pickpocketing. Now, when you kill a mob, they drop the same kind of stuff that they'd drop if you killed them. So you can still get your great swords or whatever they were going to drop, even glyphs, everything from Blade of Woeing them. And with it being an insta-kill, that's pretty favorable. It's also nice to jump in with a Blade of Woe, take out maybe the healer or something, or the high damage of the group, and then just pick off the other two after the Blade of Woe animation ends. You'll take a little bit of damage that you can't dodge, but as long as they don't start off with like their heavy swing or something, another cool thing to have it for. Now, some of you may be going, yeah, but what about XP? You can't get any XP if, you're one-shotting something. Well, you don't get full XP. And sometimes I can even one-shot the mobs that I use it on anyway, which I probably shouldn't, but the animation just looks awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying the animation running in the background. But, yeah. So, you still get a quarter of the XP. So if the mob was going to be worth $2,000, you'd get about 500. So, not too shabby, especially considering, you're getting a cool animation out of it, you're still getting loot, you're getting all this, and it really is just a free kill. So, no complaints there. Another cool thing that you can get from your points. You can go to someone once per day, well, once per 20 hours, just like, doing your mount, and you can ask them for items to help you out. You can ask them for poisons, you can ask them for things to make you less noticeable, which I've never clicked, but I've asked my guild, and they told me that it gives you like invis potions and stuff like that, which super helpful if you don't already have, the invis as being a Nightblade. But the most important one is that you can ask for a piece of equipment once per day, and that will be your level, like whatever your champion rank is, or if you're not even champion yet, it'll be your level of the character that you're talking to them on. And also it'll be part of that Sithis set for that Blade of Woe Berserk when you kill someone. Now, beyond that, a few bugs were introduced back into the game. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't heard, all the champion ranks and stuff that I was just talking about, veteran ranks are gone. So if you haven't been playing and you're checking and you're watching this to see if you should come back, the veteran rank grind is gone. So that means that if you have any character with champion points 160 or above, the cap is 501. But if you have 160 or above, whenever you hit 50 on a new character, you're instantly max level. You could put on the best gear in the game, which is pretty freaking cool. So back to bugs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I remember a bug from way back that if you tried to invis, sometimes with nothing around, it would say you were detected over and over and over again. Sometimes as many as 10 times you would try to stealth and it would tell you you're detected. And you just have to stand there in the middle of an empty room waiting to be able to stealth so you can walk into the next room. And it was horrible. But they had fixed it at one point. But back with Dark Brotherhood, you get detected in the middle of an empty room. And it doesn't happen as bad as it used to. Like I said a second ago, sometimes you would have it happen 10 times in a row. That doesn't happen now. The most I've had it happen is 3 since the Dark Brotherhood release, but I wasn't having it happen period beforehand. So it's kind of annoying that that one's back, but most of the other bugs are like visual glitches. Sometimes a mob will like tilt its head back and have its bow coming through its face and stuff, like you probably saw in the thumbnail for this video. And other bugs include the traps. The traps from Thieves Guild is still around. So they're not as prevalent as they were in Thieves Guild. Like, if you went through a delve or you went through a quest in Thieves Guild, odds are you're disarming about 30 traps, and I'm not really exaggerating. Maybe a little bit. In Dark Brotherhood, maybe during a mission or something, you have like 4 traps, tops. I don't think I've ever seen more than 4 traps in one Dark Brotherhood area. So it's not as bad, but it is a little broken. So you come up to, I'm going to try to have the clip line up with right here, but you come up to a falling rocks trap and you try to disarm it, but it backs your character out of range of it to try to start the animation for disarming it. So you have to find the sweet spot and go left and right and just get it perfect so that when it backs you up at an angle, so you're still within range of the corner of the trap. So this way here you can take care of it that way. All in all, I have to say I'm really happy with Dark Brotherhood. I'm really happy to have it. The Blade of Woe is probably one of the funnest things in the game at the moment. And I just love the animations, I do. I think they're really well done, except when they bug out. Again, bugs. Except when they bug out and you're like trying to stab the person, but they already fell, so blood's coming out of air and your blade's just kind of stabbing in the middle of nowhere. And it happens. It happens, I'd say, about 50% of the time. But it's enough to ruin immersion, but it's not enough to ruin the experience of the Blade of Woe. I'd say it's a step in the right direction from Thieves Guild, but that it's still not quite there. I definitely say that if you're a fan of ESO, if you're a fan of the game in and of itself, you should probably get Dark Brotherhood even if you skipped out on Thieves Guild. I definitely think you'll enjoy it, and I think you'll have a good time going through it. Thieves Guild, everything, even the town, was just I don't know. I don't know what it was about it. I didn't like Thieves Guild. But Dark Brotherhood has me hooked. Every day, instead of going, oh man, I need to do the heist to, get my faction up so that I can put another point into the tree. It doesn't feel like a chore to do the Dark Brotherhood one. Every day I'm like, ooh, I get to do the Dark Brotherhood one again. I wish the speaker would give me more than one a day. But, so maybe it's just me, maybe not, but according to the people I've talked to in my guild, which I do talk to them a lot, and it is a full guild, they tend to agree with me. Thieves Guild was lacking. Dark Brotherhood still lacking a little bit, but it's lacking polish. It's not lacking content. It's definitely worth grabbing it. So I hope you guys have learned a little bit. If you have any questions about Dark Brotherhood or anything in general, leave it down in the comments and I'll get back to you. Guys, this is Benoit, and I will catch you next time.